Welcome back to the seminar. The next speak is from Grail Quest, and we'll be discussing their take on eSports. Please welcome Niklas von Schöneman.
Hi guys, I'm Niklas, the Marketing and PR Manager of Grail Group, and today shortly I'll discuss our sort of idea on esports community, somebody named us Beer League of Esports. Hopefully after 30-40 minutes you'll have a clearer understanding of what that means, and also why it's us doing it and why now. Grail Quest is a service from Grail Group. We are a Finnish esports startup from 2014. Our focus is purely on the gamers and fans. We like them, we like to take care of them. Also, very fortunately, we enjoy a lot of support from the city and state and government. We have Nordea backing us, Finvera, Tekes, ELY, Science Park of Turku, and so forth and so forth. So somebody likes us. So, Grail Quest is a online tournament service, platform for competitive gaming. So we are currently in beta stage since February of this year, and we hope to have a sort of final commercial version out by 19th of October, so in a couple of months. Here's a sneak peek of it. Clear, crisp, nice. The development of the platform itself is outsourced to Make Helsinki. They're a Helsinki-based company that handles a lot of mobile and web development for quite big brands, mainly in the health and medical sector. Also, which is really nice, they have done the branding and look of the Grail Quest service and site. Also, they handle branding for Maku Brewing and Turun Sinappi and the likes of that. So we really like them. And then there's a list of technical stuff that they use to do it. Don't ask me more about it. I have no idea, but they seem interesting enough or workable enough. So without going into too much technical detail on what we actually do, how it works, I want to leave you with a couple of key ideas. The key features that we feel are most important in the service. So we have user-created tournaments. So anyone can log into our service and set up a tournament themselves, which is a really nice tool towards the gamers, towards the community themselves. Also, we have payment integration, which works both ways. So it's easy to get into entry fee tournaments, and also it's easy to get your money out of the service. So no 10-day wait period, no juggling with credits or stuff, just plain and simple payments. And if you say that we have an easy-to-use service, so who does services that are hard to use? So we like to talk more about accessibility or being barrier-free. So that's actually one of the key points. You see a lot of research and stuff on esports and why it's so popular. And the main thing that keeps popping up is accessibility. You have esports tournaments going on here today, everywhere in the world, basically at any time. Those content, those stuff can be accessed via mobile devices, computer, consoles. So accessibility is a key thing. Also, you can actually sort of enter tournaments and play, do your sports stuff from home, from your computer, which is, again, one barrier to entry down. But we also do a bunch of other things. At Grail Group, we host and organize events, big and small, from fireside gatherings on Hearthstone to arena-size events for esports. We also do management of athletes. So one of the founders is the first esports manager in Finland. So he's trained as a traditional sports manager and brings those learnings to esports. And actually, the Finnish champion of Hearthstone is one of our athletes this year. Also, we offer game training education for different gaming functions and consulting. But what do other people think about it? So this is a quote, direct quote. You're just a digital media and marketing tool that uses esports as a way to communicate. So I've been pondering this comment for quite some time, and really, are we just that? I want to work with games. I don't want to work with a digital media and marketing tool. And if that's actually us, why am I here talking to you guys? So then this happened. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the branding. So Kiss My Turku or Turku, our company's hometown, loves something. So they have loved culture, they have loved music, they have loved sport. And after some trials and tribulations, they are now actually loving esports as well. So that's something that we have been able to accomplish. So about our core ideas, even though they might sound a bit cheesy, our main mission is to serve the gamers. So, and by the gamers, we can include fans and stuff. I'm talking about the 99%, or rather 99.999% of the gamers. So most professional, most high-level guys, they are already served by really good, even Finnish solutions, and if you go abroad, even more so. But that's not actually where the huge mass of the gamers are. It's the 99%, everyone else. Most of us here, that's the main target audience. So how can we offer the competitive experience to basically anyone? So that's a really important idea. And the key in that is offering opportunity to participate in esports, opportunity to sort of test your skills, have a competitive environment, the stress and the thrill, maybe some of the rewards as well, whether it's rankings, fame, and even money. And one of the key ideas here is turning spectators into players. And that's not only a soft value for us, but it's also a really important business idea, since of the occasional esports fans, was it 42%, they don't actually play the game themselves that they are fans of, like the teams, they have a favorite team. So it's the same with me. I love hockey, I'm a fan of hockey, but I can skate. So basically, I can't participate in that. So with our service, we can maybe turn some of those millions of fans that are just spectators into actual active participants. then it creates value for us, and it creates value for the game publishers especially. So everybody wins. And with serving the gamers, the community is the key factor. We have a statement somewhere that we want to build and service the gaming community. And we are serious about that. So the more people we get into gaming, the more, again, benefit it is for us. And also the community, we want to create stuff for them, but as I mentioned, you are able to host your own tournaments, stream your own tournaments, even win something. So the community is creating stuff for itself, whether it's tournaments or events. And the key thing in this is offering more. So we offer more, but everybody offers more for others, and sort of everybody gains by that. And of course, huge amount of the esports monetization comes from the brands, partners, sponsorships, advertising. So the key thing here is we want to combine the gaming community, gamers, audience, with the brands. So that's something that's lacking. Especially the younger esports audience, they don't watch linear TV, they don't read paper magazines. Everyone has ad blockers installed on their computers. So we have to sort of break down the barriers between the brands and the community. And that means that we have to be there where the sort of content is, where the gamers and fans have chosen to give their trust. And so those brands that are there gain value from it. There was just published a study that 60% of gamers hate advertising, but again, 60% admit that the advertising so affects their intent to buy. So the main thing here is not only to actually sell. If it's a seller-buyer relationship, then you're in a bad place. It's more about enabling being present. So that's what you see here today. So the brands are here, they are making this event happen for the gamers, the visitors here. So being present and enabling are the keywords for advertisers, brands. So on the business side, there's a definite lack in similar services. There isn't basically too much of that. Nothing that has both the communal aspect of it and the chance to use actual money. So if there's not yet a business need for this, there will be quite soon. We all see the huge explosion in events, people, money that are going on around the esports stuff. So there will very shortly be a need for it. And of course, this all has to make sense. So everybody has to gain. We feel, and it might be a bit naive, that everyone in this equation needs to get something out of it. So it's also the brands, also us, and then the audience themselves. Then it's a really good relationship. So we keep hearing a bunch of stuff about us being the wrong guys to actually do this. So the first comment that props up is that we are not developers. We don't know how to code. No one of us has any graphical, expertise. We can turn on Photoshop, but that's it. So we keep hearing about that. Secondly, we're not tournament gamers. We're not high-level competitive guys. So how can we provide a service to in esports? So if we don't know what we're actually doing or selling. And basically, we're old. We have families. Esports is perceived as a young man's or young person's game. On a company idea, we hear that, well, we're just a startup. You're a newly founded startup. And from Finland, people know that Finnish esports is at high level, but Finnish startup, you can't do it. And then you can basically add any negative comment yourself there. So we have heard it all. But of course, we think we're the right guys to do it. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. So even though we don't have the development experience, we have a different set of skills. We have entrepreneurs, we have business knowledge. As I mentioned, one of the founders is a eSports manager. He is also deeply involved with community and youth work. And I have over a 10-year background in games marketing and PR in Finland. So we do have the experience, both life experience and the experience in gaming. We are all gamers ourselves, have been from small children. So, and not only digital games, but traditional board and card games. And the key thing about this is that we are ourselves one of the most important target groups. So people that don't have the same amount of time or don't want to put the same amount of effort into their esports gaming as the really high-level guys do, we sort of need good ROI on time. So if we spend time gaming, we need to get a lot out of it. So whether it's the experience, thrills, winning something, that's the important thing for us. So we know who we're selling to. As with any service, we have challenges. That's given. The biggest challenge is, of course, finding users. So it came as a sort of surprise to us that we have a good service, cool service that fills a need, and masses of people didn't turn up automatically. So we have to find the users, we have to find the ways to find the users, and continuing from that, we have to find users that are willing to pay for services. So it's really good to have users, but you need actual customers to run a business. So that's a big issue in esports because, or gaming itself, we have been accustomed to the actual community providing everything, all content being free. So the esports fans are not yet accustomed to paying for stuff. So you see it in comparison, esports fan spends approximately $5 a year on their, well, being a fan of the sport. In basketball, it's $50, and the total spend is like $54. So esports fans are not yet spending that much money on their activity. And then the third challenge is the speed of this, the sort of how fast everything is going forward. It's a real issue of our own development, our own activity, trying to keep up with the demand on whether it's features on the platform or new games coming up or anything. And the climate is changing really fast. We have to keep up. So, and then when we think about the business in general moving forward, we will have issues with localization because we are going strongly going abroad, going international. So I'm not only talking about translating our service in a different language. I'm talking about a local, cultural, behavioral localization. Which games are cool in which country? What do they want to play? Do they want to pay for it, or does it have to be free? Do they want like ranking points instead of money? So we have to figure those things out. And then when we are going international, then we face a lot of competition. And it comes down to resources. So do the bigger guys abroad have more resources than us? So what's the next step for us? So in the short term, we will have a 1.2 version release with some nice stuff coming out later this month. It will feature other games, which is a feature that I love. We now offer tournaments on Hearthstone, League of Legends, and Counter-Strike, but now we can have tournaments on any games. Basically, the chess club in a small city can use our platform to have their own tournaments. And then we will have a format called Swiss. It doesn't need to mean anything more than that's a one step towards leagues. So now we have only tournaments. Pretty soon we can host leagues as well. And what happens after that? 1.3 release is the first commercial release later this fall. And we will heavily work on integration of different services like Steam and stuff to our platform, integration of different games. So actually the platform will pick up game data from directly from that, which will make everything much smoother for the users. And also we will work on the automatization of everything. So the less hands-on management we need to do, the less stuff you need to do to set up your own tournaments and have them run smoothly, the better, of course. After we have reached a certain level of the integration and automatization processes, the next big thing will be mobile. So mobile, it's been said that this will be the year when first of all, the mobile esports will take off. And secondly, Europe will be introduced to the core gamer that plays on mobile first. That's already happening in India and Brazil and stuff. It will come to Europe. So what will be the biggest mobile esports game? Maybe Finnish Critical Ops is a good candidate for that. But when will it happen? When will it be a business? So we're not sure about that. So the good thing about developing for the mobile is that meanwhile we can catch the console audience. And now esports is very much PC driven. It's focused on like Counter-Strike and others, but a huge amount of people play with consoles. They play racing games, fighting games, sports games. So when we are moving towards the mobile, at some point we can integrate console gaming as well into our system. So that brings us to a huge new audience. And then after mobile, we're not sure yet. Is it VR in esports? Is it the VR studio in esports, VR sort of audience, or do you actually go into the game experience yourself? 4D, you can suggest to us what it will be. So, and the end goals, sort of end scenarios where us as a company, as a service, will end up is a partner for somebody. So basically, we can run tournaments to a community or game publisher, anybody. So powered by Grail Group. And also, if we have a chance, we want to be a built-in tournament system for a game or a gaming service or a device. And as it happens, one of the avenues is also events. So when we started this, we saw events as more of a customer acquisition or marketing brand building tool. But now we have seen in the last couple of years a huge explosion in esports events throughout the globe. So major tournaments, 3 years ago, there were like 40. 2 years ago, 110, and last year there were 420 major esports tournaments. So one thing where we might end up is being an event partner, organizing tournaments, having our service run the tournament side of different events, maybe here. Which sort of segues us to our own event, so that's one avenue to success as well. Our own event concept, which is actually later this fall, our release party will be a huge event in Turku, in the arena there. So I hope you all come there. So to wrap things up and leave time for some questions, we are not, as a service, as a platform, we're not a unique, beautiful butterfly, but we try to do things differently. We endeavor to look at what everyone else is doing and do it a bit more wisely, a bit more cleverly, just be different. As well as we're constantly changing and trying to evolve as the business is, as our area is. So that's what we hope to do. And this is all very exciting. So the being part of esports, building the community, and personally for me, I'm not working with anybody else's products. I'm working with our own product, which is really cool. So next up, I hope I'll see some of you at Gamescom in Germany, or our own event in Turku, or Game Expo here in Helsinki. If any of this brings any sort of ideas, feedback, or you think that you have a really cool suggestion for us, please, here today or later, come talk to us. And also, again, if you're interested in working with esports and gaming, then this is a good opportunity for that. So that's it for me, and I hope you have some questions.
Well, I can ask a question. At this point, what's your team like?
So yeah, we have 3 guys, 2 founders, and I'm the first employee of the company. So the founders they have been at it for longer than me, but I joined for the sort of gaming business area experience, and now actually just started addressing some of the needs. As I mentioned, we have a new guy that will be running tournaments for us, mainly League of Legends, but the higher level tournaments will be run by him. So.
Okay, thank you, Niklas.
Thanks.